Alright guys, what's up? Not much. So today, one of you guys recommended. So how do you feel about having a boosted car versus an all motor car? Which one do I do? Which one's better? You kind of have both. I feel like you can give a good, let's say a good point of view from was it better to do this or was it better to have an all motor car? And I'm gonna be honest with you. It's hard to compare boost to all motor in the first category because most of the time this costs 10 times more. That is the big, like, I would say, problem with this is a lot of guys try to compare boost to all motor, but they don't compare dollar to dollar. And that's where people get a lot of confused at because you're right. If you were to do this the correct way, you would spend probably 3 to 4 times the cost it would do to do like an all motor setup. It just would. So what I'm comparing though is let's say we have the same money that I've put in the all motor car spent on this car. And as you can see, it's definitely doable because it's been almost a year and we still have our $100 turbo, our $50 wastegates, our $50 blow off valve. The parts work, so it does work. It's still running. There's no issue. So that's kind of what I'm comparing. I'm comparing, let's say, cheap, budget-friendly boosts to done right all motor, and that's kind of the difference is what I'm going to go over because it is right. If you were to do this right, it would blow out the all motor car. It price-wise, it just would. And then two, when you look at money-wise, of course, yeah, if you dump the money in here and you dump the exact same amount of money in your all motor car, then it comes more fair. But like, so let's say you spent 10 grand on doing the turbo setup correctly. If you spent 10K in an all motor setup, that thing would rip. But a lot of people don't really compare that because that's like, nobody really spends 10 grand in an all motor setup unless like you're doing crazy stuff. But so let's say you have, your basic, you brought your EP or your base RSX. What do I do? And I thought about this for a while because when I put this car together, I was worried that it was going to be so much faster than the all motor car that I would not miss my RSX. Like I would just be like, I wouldn't care about my RSX anymore. And I didn't want to do that because, the RSX is my child. I love that. But this car is not. So I was kind of worried about that from the jump. And like, honestly, I drove this car for maybe 3 to 4 months without even driving my RSX. I wanted to give myself a good, I say, experience living the boosted A3 life. So I drove this for a little while and then I jumped back in my RSX. And that's what I say is like, I got back in the RSX and I was like, wow, like this is the big difference between having an all motor car and having a boosted car. Because to be 100% honest with you, the power comes on a lot later in this. It is not agile. I have a pretty good size turbo on it. I don't have a huge turbo, but I would say I have more on the bigger side turbo. So the boost is not coming quick. It takes time. It's laggy. It's not the quickest when you put your foot on the gas. Whereas the RSX, I put my foot on the gas, it's blow through the gears. You're quick. Whereas this car, it gets there. It's still faster. It's probably that. I mean, it makes twice as much as my RSX, 2 times more plus. So it is faster. Now, the difference is, I guess the biggest difference I would say between having a boosted car and an all motor car, if you were to spend the same amount, let's say that because you'd have to do the boost cheap and you could do the all motor bolt-on route the correct way. So if you were to do it the same, I kind of broke it down like this. It really depends on what type of driving you do and what type of driver you are, because that was kind of the biggest thing. Because if you're the, how do I break this? If you're the hoon person, if you're just the all-out hoon, I want to get in the car. I want to do fourth gear burnouts. I want to go down the highway and just, shoot flames out of the hood. I don't care about traction. I don't care about the driver's perspective of the car. I just want to go out and I just want to have fun. And if that's you, boost it. I want to leave 60, 100-foot burnout marks down the street, shoot flames, have the blow off valves, wastegates opening up. If you like that sound and you don't care about anything else, boost your car. That is, I would say, it is reliable. It does break. It breaks all the time. I've had a crap ton of issues with this car. Something's always off or something's always messing up. The wastegates don't open up when they're supposed to because they're the cheap ones. It does. I have to say I've had issues with this car at least every month. Every month I drive it, there's something always wrong, something always broken, something needs to be replaced. Whereas my RSX, I've had that and I haven't had any issues with it. I've had that car for years, never replaced anything. Nothing's ever broken, nothing's ever had issues. And that's kind of the difference. If you are a driver, you are focused on, lap times, turning, braking, the actual driver's perspective. If you are I say like a true car enthusiast driver, this is not your car. This is not. Do your car all motor, bolt on, do the brakes, do the suspension, do everything, dial it in, do it right. That's really the difference because I'm kind of a driver. I really am. I'm more of a driver perspective person, and I think that's why I do like the all motor bolt on route with the RSX over this. But at the same time, I will say it is fun to have both because I can basically let the inner racer out in me and do burnouts down the street, shoot flames out of the hood. The neighbors hate me, the police hate me, If that's the person, it's fun to do. It is. But at the same time, it's not the reliable, it's not the quick out of the hole, the instant throttle response, the banging through the gears, turning, coming in, braking. It's not that. This car doesn't do that. And that's kind of why I still am leaning towards the all motor side. It's just because that's what I like. And you, on the other hand, you might say, dude, who cares about driving? I'm just trying to freaking do burnouts and shoot flames out of the hood. Well, if that's what you want to do, then do this. It's very fun. I've had a lot of fun in this car. But at the same time, this misses what that doesn't have. When I'm on a back road and I'm flying through the corners and everything, this car doesn't do it. It can. And for example, like maybe if I had a smaller turbo, the boost might come in a little quicker. But at the same time, the wastegates are cheap. They need to be shut as long as they can. So they don't regulate the boost the best. So running a smaller turbo on it would really, I would say, it would be quicker from the hit because you'd have a smaller turbo and you don't have that much boost lag as this thing does. But at the same time, it's still not the instant throttle response. You still have to wait on the turbo to spool, and that's kind of the issue because, we don't have some 300 horsepower K24 under the hood on turbo. No, we have a piece of crap motor. The piece of crap motor works, it's just the piece of crap motor slow. So when if you give it some good bolt-ons, it'll really wake it up. And it's quick, it's responsive, it works. Whereas this car, it's really laggy. So, but then again, it depends. That's really what it comes down to. It just depends on the driver that you are and what type of fun you're looking to have with the car. Because, and two, do you mind working on it? Because my RSX, it doesn't break. It's perfect, it runs good, I don't have any issues with it, nothing breaks. This car, it breaks at least every couple weeks. Something's always wrong, something's leaking, you never know, to be honest with you. It's fun, it works, but that's really it. I mean, if you love the sounds, you love the turbo, get it. It does work. Honestly, I really wouldn't dump big dollars in this car doing it right because that would just be a total waste of money. But if you want to put together like a cheap turbo kit versus, the all motor route, it really just depends on, what type of driver you are, because both setups cost the same amount. I probably have just as much of this car as I do in the RSX. So it is possible to do it both ways instead of doing it the 3 to 4 times more route, buying the $2,000 Precision, buying the $1,000 in wastegates. You can do it that route, but at that point, what I tell people is if you are to do boost in the right way, look at how right you could do an all motor car. Whereas if you brought your stroker block, you bored it, you got your high compression pistons, your race gas, your ported head, that thing would fly. The all motor car would fly if you do it right. But then you'd still have, versus your turbo car. So I don't know. I mean, price wise, they're even. It works. I can't have any complaints about the cheapo eBay turbo, the $150 turbo. It works. It's still running. Hasn't burnt any oil. I got it water cooled too. I guess that helps with keeping it alive a little longer. But yeah, I can't say I did boost this car with eBay parts. It works. It's very powerful. It's twice as powerful as my RSX all day. It's probably 2.5, almost 3 times as powerful as my RSX. And it does rip. It does. This thing, when you lay on the two-step, shoots flames out of the hood. The RSX doesn't shoot flames. But it just depends on who you are. If you're a driver, you love it. If you're I would say the true car enthusiast guy, I don't know. I lean towards all motor over boost, and a lot of people will be like, but boost is so much fun. I'm not saying boost isn't fun. It's just for this price range. If we were to level the playing field on the money you could spend, I think I'd rather have an all motor car. Now, not to say I wouldn't rather have a turbo car that I had, $10,000+ dumped into just the turbo kit. Yeah, I think I might would. If I were to completely do this car right, then you're right. I would rather have a turbo car, but the all motor is still the instant power. It's still, I don't know. I still vote it funner. I just do, like, for me perspective. And that's what a lot of guys do. If you look at a lot of guys, you'll see that guys have that bolt-on setup. They look up to this because they never had this. They always go, man, it'd be so cool to have a turbo. It'd be so cool to hear that blow-off valve. So cool to hear the wastegates open up, hear the turbo spool up. But then if you notice a lot of guys, you'll see them, they will save up their money. They'll do this turbo kit. They'll have the turbo car for a couple years. And then but everybody I see that does that, what do? They pull back and they sell the turbo kit and they go back to the all motor setup. And it's kind of like, I would say, this is the all motor setup is your wife. This is the stripper, okay? This is not gonna cause you any problems. It's gonna be reliable. It's gonna be there every day. It's not gonna be broken, no headaches. Where this is fun as hell. It is, it's fun as hell. But at the same time, it breaks every 5 minutes. You're spending extra money, just extra stuff. It is fun. It is fun as hell. Like, take this thing out for a couple pulls, you will be happy. It is. But at the same time, you don't have your reliability. You don't have your driver's type of car. And that's kind of the big difference. And that's just between, me, how I feel. You might feel differently. You might just say, look, dude, I'm 18. I just want to do burnouts down the highway. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to do burnouts down the highway, this is where it's at. Because this car doesn't hook up. I mean, to be honest with you, I can roast the tires in fourth in this thing. So if that's what you want to do, cool. Whereas my RSX, I can probably do a burnout in first and second pretty much. But third and fourth, I'm never doing a burnout in the RSX. It just ain't happening. This car over here, third and fourth, you can still do a burnout. So it just depends on what you like. I mean, both cost-wise, they cost the same. So it's not like I would say, man, this costs so much more to do than this. No, it doesn't. So you're spending the same amount of money. So it really just depends on what you like. So all right, guys, if you have any more video topics, let me know. I'm open. If you guys want to see more Civic, more RSX, more to do videos, more work on videos, more knowledge videos. I don't know. I'm open, so leave a comment below, whatever you want to see. I really don't care because honestly, guys, I would do this stuff anyway. And if I just didn't take a video of it, who cares? I'm still gonna have a turbo car. I'm still gonna have an all motor car. I'm still gonna go have fun on the weekends. So let me know, guys. Later.